Welcome along to the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's round 13 of season 15 in the Wheel2Wheel Racing AL2 Championship, and we're just over 30 miles south of the Slovakian border in Budapest. And we're at the place that's hosted the Hungarian Grand Prix since 1986. We're at the Hungaroring. It's a 2.72 mile circuit, 14 corners, 6 to the left and 8 to the right. A couple of DRS zones to help overtaking at a track that has historically been very difficult for overtaking. We're going to have 70 laps of racing after qualifying today, and some decisions to be made in qualifying for our drivers. As our tires are in the middle of the Pirelli range of C2, C3, and C4, and the softs over a second quicker than the mediums, but with much quicker degradation. As we are underway here in qualifying,
it looks
should
like
be another exciting one today.
The weather report is looking to say that we're going to have a cloud qualifying session and a dry race. So let's just get all my details up. I think most cars are going to be looking at going on to the soft tyres. There's only Sega to Cars right now, who is the first car out, looking to set a lap on a medium set of tyres. So I think we will ride on board with Sega to Cars in the Williams as he's coming round Sector 3. Hungaroring, a very tricky track to get right. There's a lot of flow in the corners. So here we come round the final sector and we go to one of the very few straights on this track, down the start-finish straight. Cars can reach a speed of up to 291 kilometers per hour, hard braking into a sharp right. Second DRS zone is here. So round turn 2, couple overtake opportunities there, and turn 3, and he loses it.
Oh,
spectacularly! Wow. Okay, so I won't be completing a flying lap with Sega.
So just a couple minutes into qualifying and we've got one driver out, so Sega will be starting at the back of the grid, it looks like.
Right, I will try and start again with Appleplex in the Mercedes. So, turn 2, difficult, double apex corner, turn 3, that's how you take it, not too much on the inside curve. Very tight turn 4 here, it's a very difficult one to get correct. A long right turn for turn 5, tricky on the inside curb. If you touch that, you're guaranteed to spin. Very tight right left for turn 6 and 7, and then this is where we get into the flow of the Hungaroring with turns 8, 9, 10 and 11 flowing all onto each other, which is very difficult. You've really got to get your flow here. Tight on the inside, not too much curb on the outside, otherwise you will invalidate your lap. Hard braking into turn 12, coming round to the hairpin that is turn 13, and then you want to try and get as far over onto the left as you can to come round the final corner, turn 14, to complete your lap. Open up your DRS and cross the line, and Appleplex takes it into provisional pole with a 1:16.7.
A good lap from Appleplex there.
So there was a few cars out, but Sega obviously DNF'd. And actually no, Appleplex is the first one to set a flying lap. A let down the state comes across the line and sets a 1:16.76, so very close to Appleplex there.
Strident beats both Appleplex in a letdown state by over a second. A 1:15.5 for Strident in the racing point.
Oh, and Ted just starting his flying lap, he invalidated it, taking too much on the inside of turn 1. So difficult start to the session for the Williams.
Old Dad's rule had said a purple sector 1, but caught the inside curb at turn 5. As you said, you get on that curb and you're always going to spin, and Old Dad's experienced that for himself there. It can be such a difficult track to really get that perfect lap.
And he stays well clear out of the way of everybody there, because his tyres will not be up to much right now, having been baked from this spin and then just gone onto the grass and collected every bit of dirt imaginable. Prev sets a 1:18.0. I think he will be looking to improve that time on the soft tyres. Got Just Mikey coming around the final corner, starting his flying lap now.
And CHM has set a purple sector 2 as he's coming into the last couple of corners. We'll see what time he can put up.
I could tell you that pole time from last season, which was on the 2019 game, was a 1:16.4. So that's already been beaten, and that was set by Ross the Icon. So Mikey
and
with
CHM good enough for P2.
26.6 Mikey got for a sector 1. He wasn't purple. Got a yellow flag in.
And that's Old Dad's again. Is it? It might have been that same turn 5.
I think it was, yes. And a purple sector 2 for Mikey with a 54.1. So he's looking very strong for this lap. I know that he's normally out-qualifies his teammate. His teammate is currently sat in P2. He's used all his ERS. Oh, and he does beat his teammate, CHM, with a 1:15.8. But Stryden and Stevo are ahead. Stevo, I missed him putting his lap in with a 1:14.9. That is an unbelievable time.
Yeah, it's really quick from Stevo. We've seen over the recent weeks, Stevo's been able to secure pole quite comfortably, I'd say, and in the last couple weeks, his race pace hasn't been as dominant.
Well, the last 3 weeks he's won.
Yes. Last week, though, Bannister crossed the line first, but
he
just
did.
had 3 seconds of penalties. So Stevo is expected at this point on provisional pole, and that could very well stay the same the rest of qualifying, but when we get to race time, we'll likely see some more battling at the front.
Have we got anyone on a flyer? Got Ted on an outlap who's not set a time yet.
Strident is, and riding on board with him, he spins a turn 5. Strident had improved through sector 1, but then just caught that inside curb at turn 5 and spun right around.
It's just a tricky corner. You want to take it tight, but you take it too tight and you're gone.
And it's a corner, I feel, driving it halfway through the corner, you think this is when you should really be turning and putting the power down and trying to square off the corner as best you can to take the shortest line. But if you do that, the curb can catch you out so easily. I think a lot of people who've played this game have experienced that for themselves, and we're seeing it here today in qualifying. The driver's really struggling with that.
Oh, Ted took a very wide line. Obviously he knows about that inside curb, but he lost the rear end. He must not have enough downforce at the back of his car, and his rear end just stepped out, sliding without even being on the curb. It's typically quite a high downforce track, I believe. Obviously people have got their own preference on how they drive it, as Ted sets a purple sector 2. I'm not so sure on that. I think the game's telling me lies. It's very scrappy sector 3 as well. He's I don't know which side of the track he's on as he's coming in. He will not be setting a lap. Now where's Strident? I was going to say, is Strident going again, but he's off again. And now he's got half a wing missing, and he's got a Mercedes behind him. I don't know if he impeded any of that track. Who was that? Was that Apoplex? No, it was Bannister. Bannister's only on an outlap, so that's cool.
Now Bannister's starting his first flying lap. The man who crossed the line first last week, but ended up coming second. So we'll look to build off of that performance. Talked to him after the race last week. He said he was a bit surprised that he had the pace to challenge Steve-O and overtake Steve-O there with just a couple of laps left. He was really pleased with his performance, so he'll be looking to build off of that. And he feels like this is a good track for him, and he can continue to close the gap to Mikey in the championship. As he sets a purple sector 1. So a good start for Bannister here on his first flying lap. And a purple sector 2 for Bannister.
He's on track for that P1 position.
Look to be a very smooth sector 3. We'll see what time he gets. Up into pole. A 1:14.8.
Wow.
Great lap from Bannister.
The only thing I have failed to find for this stream is the qualifying times from AL1, because they are some pretty quick times. So, who shall we go with? I think Steve-O is currently on a flyer. Is he looking to claim back?
That's purple sector 2.
He does. I missed by how much, because he's within a tenth of Bannister's time.
Steve-O's qualifying pace has been unmatched the last couple weeks. We'll see if he can get that pole position back, and he can.
Improves his time by 2/10.
Not much in it between the top two as they best each other by about a tenth each way. Bannister getting Steve-O and then Steve-O getting Bannister back.
It's a strong battle between these two during qualifying and on track, as you say. Last week Bannister crossed the line first in front of Steve-O, but Steve-O was close enough behind to claim it on penalties.
Strident has improved through the first sector so far.
Yep, he's managed to avoid all the incidents that he lost control of his car on in his previous attempts.
And a purple sector 2 for Strident. So if he can finish this lap, well, he might be able to challenge that front row.
He's certainly going to close the gap. He's 7 tenths away currently. And he does improve, but he's just got closer. Still stays in third. So this will be last orders for anybody coming out of the pits wanting to set another lap. I see a couple of cars coming out.
I wonder if the Ferrari of Dastardly has come out on the mediums. And
He
he's
has
yet to set a timed lap.
Now, Dastardly won here last season. He didn't do as well in qualifying. He qualified 14th last season. But he won the race in the end, which is all that matters. And CHM improves his lap by 0.3, closes his gap to his teammate, and also defends his position from Appleplex.
It's going to be interesting to see where Dastardly can climb up to on the medium tires. As said in the intro, the softs degrade so much faster than the mediums. Dastardly only able to get 10th. And we'll see if he has time for another lap.
Yeah, we should be able to get round and go again. He's turned his ERS off, so he's looking to save. Oh, and we have a Renault off, down by turn 6-7. Mikey's just about to start a fresh flyer.
And our letdown of state has just invalidated his flying lap, and with only 30 seconds left, he won't have enough time for another go, so our letdown of state will be toward the back of the grid, and his teammate crossing the line with 11 seconds. Dastardly. So we will get one final lap in.
I imagine he'll have better traction on the mediums on his next run, as Mikey improves his time by 0.18 of a second, which will not move his position if he was to finish with that improvement.
And Dastardly improved slightly in the first sector on this lap. He'll have to improve by a lot if he wants to make up any positions on the starting grid, though. A big gap from 10th to 9th at the moment.
Mikey crossed the line and improved, but only marginally, so it means he will be starting no higher than 5th at this Hungarian Grand Prix. Old Dad's crossed the lines, and he is 4th. CHM is pitting, so it's only Dastardly who can improve his time.
And he improves, but not enough to change his starting position.
How did Ted not set a time? He's obviously been out, hasn't he? And he's invalidated his laps and came off. Or is my screen glitching? Has he got a time for you?
I don't have a time for Ted either.
No.
It is a track where it's very easy to invalidate, so that may have been what happened.
So for the Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying session, we have Steve-O on pole with a 1:14.7. Second place we have Bannister. Third is Strident. Fourth is Old Dads. Fifth is Just Mikey. Sixth is CHM. Seventh is Appleplex. Eighth is Prev. Ninth is a Letdown Estate. 10th is Dastardly. 11th is Ted, having not been able to set a qualifying time, and 12th is Sega de Cars, who unfortunately DNF'd right early in the session. So both Williams starting 11th and 12th at the back of the grid.
So an exciting qualifying session there, and we're just a few minutes away from lights out, which gives us a moment to talk about where we are at the Hungaroring in the capital of Hungary, Budapest. And Hungaroring, built in 1985, it took just 9 months to complete, and it hosted its first Formula One Grand Prix in 1986, which was won by Nelson Piquet. And in the 80s, when the governments of Hungary and the USSR, they wanted to bring a Formula One race to Budapest, and the initial idea was they wanted to create a city circuit similar to Monaco, but then the Hungarian government decided they wanted to build a brand new circuit on the outskirts of the city, so that's how we got the Hungaroring. And when it took place, the first Hungarian Grand Prix in 1986, it was the first Formula One race behind the Iron Curtain during the Cold War era. And it's a fascinating track, high downforce, and it really challenges the drivers. And it is a track where it's placed sort of in a natural valley, so about 80% of the track can be seen from any vantage point around the circuit. So it's a great track to go and watch in real life. It's got a capacity of 70,000 spectators. It's a very difficult track on drivers. It takes a lot of precision and bravery, as there's a lot of places, as we saw in that qualifying session, where it's very easy to lose control of the car. So you've got to be brave in order to get the most out of your car around this track, and we'll see which driver can make the most of it today.
Yeah, there's probably more cars off there than there was times deleted.
Yeah.
So looking at the league table, just Mikey is heading the Drivers' Championship right now with 197 points. Behind him, Bannister with 51 points difference. Bannister has 146 points. Very close battle then for second, third and fourth in the drivers' title. As I say, Bannister is second, and 3 points behind him we have Dastardly, and then following very closely behind Steve-O with his phenomenal track record in the last few races. He's managed to claw his way right up to fourth, cleared a big gap to the rest of the field, and now it's a three-way battle for second with Mikey 51 points in front. The constructors, Renault are looking strongest with 277 points. Obviously that's Mikey's and CHM's points added together. And they are the most consistently scoring team. Both drivers have scored points in every single race so far this season. Then we have Dastardly and a letdown estate in Ferrari with 230 points. They are 47 points behind the Renault team. Then Mercedes, which is Bannister and Appleplex. Bannister obviously hauling a big amount of points for that constructors team, following in third. Also, reports on the last season's race in Hungary. Dastardly got first place, Gogs got second, and Just Mikey got third. All three drivers' homeland is Scotland. So a strong Scottish presence on that podium last season. And I'm sure Bannister, waving the Scottish flag, will also be wanting to be stood up there, possibly with Dastardly, possibly with Mikey, all Scottish, but Steve-O will be looking for his step also.
Yeah, so the majority of our drivers went for that soft tire in qualifying, and the soft tire by far the quicker of the three, over a second quicker than the medium and about 1.7 seconds quicker than the hard. But the softs will only last a maximum of 20 laps, and at the beginning of the race, as the drivers who qualified on those softs in the top 10 will be using their worn soft tires that they used in qualifying, so they'll be probably looking to go about 10 to 12 laps before those tires start feeling really, really uncomfortable. So likely a two-stop race for all of those who started with the soft tire. One of the strategies is soft, then medium, medium, but obviously it depends on safety cars, virtual safety cars, and incidents that can happen very easily around this track. It could be a one-stop race for any driver starting on the mediums. Go medium hard, that's a fairly comfortable strategy, as the mediums can last a maximum of 44 laps, but the drivers will be looking to take them around 30 laps. The hards can last a mega 58 laps maximum, but the ideal race window is about 45 laps for those.
Yeah, Dastardly was one of the only ones to start on the mediums, and looking at our data now, there's Ted on the mediums, but they are the only two. Everybody else has opted for the soft, as you say, probably concreting in a two-stop race, safety car depending.
Yeah, and there is the possibility of stretching a one-stop soft to hard, but probably not the ideal strategy. I think soft, medium, medium will be the most popular choice among our drivers.
That's what I've seen flick up as the suggested pit strategy when the cars is pulling off the start-finish line to start their formation lap. Cars coming around the final corner now, getting ready to line up on the grid for the 5 lights.
So it's a long run down into turn 1, in a place where it's very difficult to overtake. The drivers will be looking to make up as many places as they can, as quick as they can while they've got the opportunity. The drivers all locked into their grid positions. And 5 lights are on. Boogity, 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 we are underway at the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Steve-O with a great start there, staying ahead of his rival Bannister. The 2 racing points coming up behind. My screen display has gone all a bit square, so I can't really actually tell what's going on, but I can still see.
Devo has kept his lead, Bannister in second, the 2 racing points just behind.
And it looks like Just Mikey is held on to his 5th place.
Just Mikey looking to have a go at one of the racing points into turn 4 there, but had to back out at just the last second.
Appleplex getting a great exit and having a look on the inside of CHM. And that's a very tidy lap 1 so far. CHM desperately trying to defend against Appleplex, who's trying to get past him as much as he can. Stevo already trying to get out of that DRS activation zone.
Mikey right on the back of the 2 racing points. Our championship leader looking to make up some positions early.
Dastardly struggling on the medium tyres. He's dropped down into 11th place. It's all very clean and tidy right so far, which is what we like to see.
Strident with the first penalty of the day.
Dastardly's coming under threat from Ted, and as Ted takes the inside line, Dastardly's not having it, so he fires it around the outside, but Ted's trying to battle back. Dastardly's on the inside, keeping very tight to that curb. Ted out on top through the final corner. DRS has been activated this lap, but they won't have it until the start of the next lap because the activation point is before the lap starts. And Ted went very deep there, very, very deep, but Dastardly wasn't close enough to make anything of that.
So positions 4 through 8, all within a second of each other. Midfield battle looking really tasty here early. Mikey right on the back of the 2 racing points still.
Appleplex picking up his 3-second penalty. Ooh, and the racing point goes very deep there from Strident C. And he's very loose.
Strident getting a little loose and going off the track.
Mikey will have
a good exit here. He'll have DRS.
That DRS power is just no match for the straight line speed of this Force India Racing Point. And just Mikey gets the job done. But Strident did have a look back. He didn't want to give it up easy. But Mikey, of course, will have DRS again on that second DRS the second DRS zone.
Yeah, just to clarify, it's a little weird this track because both DRS straights use the same detection zone, which is right on the entrance of turn 14, the last corner before the pit straight. So if you get DRS...
Oh, and we have a car round. That Prev dropped it on turn 5 on the inside. And let's go back to the racing because Appleplex is right on the gearbox of CHM.
So yeah, just to clarify the DRS, if you get DRS down the main straight, you will get it after turn 1 and into turn 2, even if you are ahead through turn 1. It's just how DRS works at this track. It's not normal that you see that, but just the one detection zone here in Hungary.
Appleplex was quite close to the back of CHM going into Sector 3, but it nearly dropped out of the DRS zone by the end of Sector 3. I suspect he's probably not running as much downforce as CHM, and CHM was able to just pull a gap, meaning that even with DRS, Appleplex wasn't able to do anything. Ted now with a 3-second penalty. And just Mikey, he was able
on the other racing point now.
Yes, but Dryden is still keeping with him as Appleplex picks up another penalty. Strident. As Matt said, it's not a very forgiving track on limits.
So Mikey will be right on the back of Old Dad's as they come onto the main straight. Mikey will have DRS, he's got plenty of overtake to work with, and he's closing in very quickly as they come towards turn 1. He's on the inside of the racing points.
Very clean, very
tidy. Can he
make
it stick?
As we previously said, Mikey has got his DRS, which helps him to just get that overtake done, but Old Dad's is not giving up easy.
And Mikey was able to make it stick into turn 2. Old Dad's was fighting it all the way there, but Mikey is able to secure third for the time being.
Steve-O now extending his lead. Steve-O now 5.6 seconds ahead of Bannister. And Mikey, having to fight his way through the traffic, is now only 2 seconds behind Bannister. So how well can these drivers look after their tyres? Because Mikey will have surely used some rubber up getting through them racing points. They look like they're going to be having a little scrap themselves very shortly. Old Dad's losing a bit of traction coming around the final sector. Strident having DRS. Old Dad's was outside of the DRS activation.
We have Appleplex looking to make a move on Sega. And he is through as they break into turn 1. And we have Ted and the Williams looking to go down the inside of a letdown of state at turn 2. A lockup from Ted and a slight touch on that Ferrari, but a letdown of state not giving it up as they go wheel to wheel into turn 4, and a letdown of state fighting it as best he can, but just had to let off a little bit, and they're still fighting all the way through turn 5 and into the chicane, and Ted finally able to get clear of the Ferrari.
But Ted's losing traction. He's going very deep into these corners. This is where I said sector 2, you need the flow. Turns 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, they're all, you get one wrong, you've got them all wrong.
Yeah. You gotta have the rhythm through that whole second sector. Now Mikey has been able to pull a little bit of a gap to the racing points and is closing in on Bannister very quickly. He's within 1 second already.
Old Dad's picks up another penalty. I think it's going to be very interesting come the end of the race, seeing how our wheel-to-wheel rule will affect the final. The wheel-to-wheel rule being that track exceeding limit penalties, then for every penalty you get after that you will lose a position in the final standing. As Strident is having a look on the inside into turn 1 onto Old Dad's, his teammate. Strident with his DRS open trying to run away, but Old Dad's is chasing him down. Old Dad's had better traction out of turn 1 there to try and get the run onto Strident.
And the two Ferraris going wheel to wheel through turn 1 and into turn 2. Dastardly round the outside. And he goes a little bit wide in a letdown of state. Goes back into 10th.
Sega to cars quite close to the back of the Mercedes of Appleplex.
And Mikey right on the back of Bannister now, just 0.3 between them as they come onto the main straight. Mikey with DRS. Switches to the left side on the main straight, and he is well clear of the Mercedes as they go into turn 1. So Mikey with a great first stint, made up a few places and is up into 2nd.
Oh, and the letdown state looks very close to his teammate Dastardly. His old dad rules picks up another penalty.
And both Ferraris going wide there at turn 4.
Yeah, a letdown estate, making sure he stays clear of that inside curve on turn 5. Appleplex is also close to the back of CHM. It's all going on this race.
And we've seen Strident come into the pits last lap. We're getting to the point where those drivers who started on the soft tires are going to be looking to pit and go on to some mediums as CHM and the Renault pulls into the pits.
Yeah, he went very deep there. I think he was trying to make sure he stayed out of Appleplex's way. So CHM's gone softs. We also have a letdown estate in the pits. He was on softs, he's gone on to a set of mediums. And Prev has also pitted, but he had that early spin which put him towards the back already. So Steve-O is in first place. The 9-second lead on just Mikey, who has managed to build a bit of a gap in front of Bannister, albeit he's still within that DRS time. Maybe. Then in fourth place, Old Dads, followed by Appleplex, and then we've got the two Williams, we've got Sega to Cars and Ted. Then we have Dastardly in 8th, Strident C in 9th, CHM in 10th, a letdown estate in 11th, and Prev in 12th. So where have we got any battles? Is Bannister pits?
And Sega to Cars is pitting as well.
Old Dad's also pitting. You said 12 laps. It's 12 laps.
And this is not a track where you want to go around too long on worn out tires. It's difficult enough on fresh tires, but you start sliding around, just makes it that much more difficult, as Steve-O may be dealing with some of that difficulty and getting his first penalty for track limits.
I don't know what happened with Bannister, either on his in-lap or during his pit stop, but he's come out behind Strident. Strident pitted the lap sooner, managed the undercut on the Mercedes car. So very interesting array of strategies here. People going soft, people going medium soft, people going soft medium. And our race leader is into the pits. Steve-O has pitted and Mikey has stayed out. Steve-O going on to a set of mediums. Appleplex also in. Steve-O coming out of the pits into 3rd place, not far behind the Williams of Ted on 12 lap older tyres. Bannister still not being able to get past the racing point of Strident. Oh, and we have some action on turn 1 between CHM and Appleplex. Can't remember what order they was before.
Appleplex had just come out of the pits, I believe.
Ah, yes, he must have on 0 lap tyres.
Behind CHM. Maybe another little undercut there for the Renault driver.
And Mikey is in. It's very slow to the pit limit line. Is he going to be able to get out anywhere near Steve-O? Steve-O coming down the start-finish straight. That extra lap on them soft tyres looks to have done quite a bit of damage.
Will he be able to keep 3rd? No. Will he be able to keep 4th? No, he's dropping down a few places now.
He was behind Bannister again, so all that work he did to overtake Bannister is now... It's got to be done again. As he's under threat from Old Dads. And Old Dads is having to look on the inside for turn 2. And he's sending it. Mikey has dropped down to 7th. Old Dads is on soft tyres, so he will have that adhesion advantage for now. Mikey looking for the long game on the medium tyres, but is having Old Dads in front of him going to impede his race? Steve-O reclaiming the race lead, having overtaken Ted.
I think it'll be interesting to see the strategy of Ted and Dastardly up there in 2nd and 3rd, both started on the medium tires. And they can keep those positions or stay in that top half. Maybe a one-stop might come into play at some point for them. If they go onto the hard tires, they'll be slower, but taking away that 2nd pit stop will save them a lot of time.
Some great straight line speed of the Ferrari car, Dastardly helping him keep in front of Strident as he was on the attack with his DRS and still couldn't make the move. Ted with a 3-second time penalty. Strident going very deep there. He rode the curb a lot on the entry of turn 4. Turn 6 and 7 have also got some killer curbs on the inside. If you get them wrong, it unsettles your car. You've got a right train up for 3rd place as Dastardly went deep.
Yeah, and all the cars behind Dastardly on fresh tires will be looking to get past the real train, as you say, forming.
Mikey's just catching up to that train on his fresh tyres. Bannister's in there with fresh tyres. All of them are on fresh tyres, actually, as you said. And Strident's a lot closer to Dastardly this time, so I'm not sure if his straight line speed will be enough to defend. Strident is having a look on the inside, but is not very confident. He didn't have as much speed as he wanted, I don't think. There's a right swamp of cars behind as Bannister lost the place to Old Dads there.
Now the other Racing Point looking to have a go around the outside, but he just got onto the grass, and Bannister maybe looking to take advantage, but Old Dad's able to stay in 5th.
I'm sure Old Dad's took that position off Bannister there, because now Mikey is behind his rival Bannister. And Mikey and Bannister are both going to be wanting to get through these cars as quick as possible, as to not damage their tyres too much, because they're wanting to carry them through the race a bit more. Whereas Old Dad's,
for Old Dad's on the soft tires, he needs to make the most out of this stint in terms of pace, because he knows they're not going to last as long as the medium tire that his direct rivals have on, but he needs to get clear of the Ferrari and really make those softs count. Put in some quick laps as he'll try to make a move, maybe with DRS down the main straight and into turn 1.
Just Mikey is on the inside of Bannister, but it looks like he backs out a little bit. Both cars will have DRS coming down this second straight after turn 1. And Mikey's just a little bit too far back to get
when Old Dad's on the inside of Dastardly. Old Dad's through and into 4th.
Got a right little group of very racy and respectful drivers here.
Dastardly on those 16 lap old medium tires, obviously at a disadvantage to those around him. And Bannister is the next one in the train that'll be looking to make a move on the Ferrari.
Yeah, the Racing Point Strident's managed to get away from the pack. Old Dad's just making his way now as well. Dastardly had a great exit there.
Bannister and Mikey with DRS, Dastardly without DRS, but he's able to stay in front into turn 1. But Bannister with DRS again into turn 2. He'll be on the outside, but he looks to have cleared the Ferrari. And he's able to get the move done.
Very clean racing there.
And Mikey's looking to have a go into turn 4, but he just backs out at the last second.
Mikey knows he needs to keep on Bannister's tail. Bannister is Mikey's real threat within this section of the race. The longer he's held behind Dastardly, now as he has a little look on the inside but backs out.
Dastardly just got a little loose on the exit of the chicane, and Mikey saw an opening there for a split second, but thought better of it. That sector 2 is so tight, not really any great opportunities to overtake. He just remains patient. He'll try to get the move done down one of the DRS straights here.
I thought he was going to try to send around the outside of that hairpin there.
And surely now, plenty of overtake for Mikey. He's right on the back and now ahead of Dastardly.
Mikey lost 2 seconds there to Bannister, so he's going to have to try and reclaim that.
And now Strident close the gap to Ted, as Ted is on 18 lap old mediums, so he will be at a disadvantage in terms of grip, and he looks to be struggling through sector 2 here. Strident is right on his rear wing.
Yeah, Ted didn't have his flow there. He was very deep into the first corner, which puts him off for entry for the next.
And another lockup from Ted there as he goes wide on turn 12.
Strident's pushing it around the outside. But maybe is that a mistake, because Ted is now going to have the DRS on the start-finish straight. And
we'll see if
after
Ted
turn...
Yeah, we'll see if Ted can take advantage of that DRS. Strident just had so much grip though. He made the move and he got a great exit out of turn 14. So he's able to stay comfortably ahead into turn 1. And he looks to be well ahead. With Strident safely in second.
Ted now under threat by Strident's teammate Old Dads on the fresh soft tyres behind him. Appleplex with a time penalty. Just Mikey has already caught the back of Bannister again. He's very close to being within DRS range.
Oh, and another lockup for Ted as he goes wide at turn 12. Ted struggling as we saw Dastardly struggle on the older tires compared to the rest of the field on fresh tires. But Ted with a good exit out of turn 14. And Old Dads is too far back to challenge him into turn 1.
Just Mikey in the background as well with DRS on Bannister closing that gap. Not close enough to make a move this round. But as Old Dads is having a look on the inside of Ted, but he's not quite close enough. But Ted is very deep into turn 2 there. Old Dads is pulling non-sided.
Move here.
That was a very risky move, but it paid off for Old Dads there as he made the move into turn 4.
And Ted giving him plenty of space there on the inside. Be a really dangerous corner.
Old Dad's pushing it so much that he got a time penalty that round.
Now we're seeing a similar situation with Ted as we did with Dastardly. Just more and more cars ready to overtake as Bannister goes down the inside at turn 12.
Bannister again knows that if he can get in front of Ted and keep him between him and Mikey, that will buy him some time to defend from Mikey, but Ted is looking strong.
And now Mikey will be trying to clear the Williams, and he does so.
Can he clear the Mercedes at the same time?
Inside. And he'll have DRS.
Bannister with no DRS.
Mikey's got the double overtake done. Great move from him.
That was a fantastic move.
Bannister took a defensive line into turn 1, got to the middle of the track. But Mikey didn't care, he sent it down the inside anyway. And made it stick into turn 2.
Steve-O now 11 seconds lead on the racing point of Strident. Old Dad's, I think he's dropping off a little bit now because he's dropped down from his teammate. Just Mikey now in DRS range of Old Dad's, which will help him defend against Bannister behind him. Oh, but it doesn't look like he's got overtake. DRS.
And Bannister able to close the gap, but not close enough into turn 1. If he can... He's not using his overtake here, Bannister. But Mikey goes wide at turn 2, and maybe that opens the door.
And Bannister sent it round the outside of turn 3.
What a move, and Bannister looks to be ahead through turn 4.
Mikey's off. There was contact between the two. Oh no!
Mikey comes back onto the track and makes contact
with Dastardly.
With the Ferrari.
Is there damage to the Ferrari car? I know that Just Mikey has lost his end plate. The front wing of the Ferrari looks okay for now, but I'm sure he lost a position or two in that incident. That's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Mikey doesn't want to be pitting 8 laps into his medium stint, having been so strong for pace. But let's move on with the race, as Bannister is now looking to bring the challenge to Old Dad's.
Couldn't tell if there might have been contact between Bannister and Mikey there as they came through turn 4.
There was very close turn 4. I think that's one for a replay to review.
Yeah, our stewards will have a look at that after the race.
As Bannister is now trying the outside of turn 4 again, with Old Dads this time, and he makes the move stick.
Oh, great driving from Bannister there. Turn 4 can be such a difficult place to go wheel to wheel through. You see Bannister being really aggressive through there and making great moves, but even when neither driver makes a mistake, coming together can happen through there, and it may have happened between Bannister and Mikey.
Yeah, there's always going to be an incident or two when you've got such close, tight racing. Everybody wants to score that position. But I don't think there was anything malicious done by any driver there.
Yeah, I think just a racing incident between Bannister and Mikey, but Mikey, the championship leader, now well behind the pack, all the way down in 12th. Really unfortunate for him.
I'm hoping that his pace can come on strong, as we have a yellow flag.
And it's Appleplex. He went off at turn 5.
Yeah, I'm hoping the pace of Mikey will be strong on these fresh mediums, because Steve-O is not too far behind him. He's in the same sector. Obviously a lap ahead. If he gets too close to Mikey, Mikey will get blue flags and then he will be lapped. And unfortunately this game, any safety car or anything, it seems it's impossible for you to unlap yourself, which is very untrue to real life.
Now then, another battle as Sega is within DRS range of Dastardly in front. He'll have a bit more pace down the main straight, but still behind into turn 1. Sega on fresher tires, 13 lap old mediums, as opposed to Dastardly's 25 lap old mediums. Dastardly still on the same set of tires that he started the race on.
Yeah, a couple of people
closing the gap.
Oh, and we're missing action between Prev and Appleplex. Appleplex has just come out of the pits. He's gone for his 3rd set of soft tyres. Yeah, Ted and Dastardly, the only 2 drivers with the tyres on that they started with.
They get just a little bit closer this time around, but Dastardly with a good exit out of turn 14, and it'll stay ahead into turn 1 as Sega had a look down the inside.
I think
DRS once again.
Dastardly's Ferrari has got some phenomenal straight line speed, helps him defend on that start-finish straight, as Appleplex is coming around the final corner, very close to the back of Prev. But Prev's pulling away from him. Oh, and Appleplex.
Contact.
I'm not sure what was happening there, because Appleplex had his DRS open, but not his overtake on, and Prev was pulling away from him.
And Appleplex trying to get a great exit out of turn 1, but maybe just caught out by the defensive positioning of Prev, and just caught the back of him a little bit. Hopefully no damage for Appleplex.
Hopefully. As a rule of thumb, it is the driver's job to not go into the back of the car in front. But incidents of course happen, but yes. Sega's not able to get the move done on Dastardly again this lap.
Appleplex right on the back of the Red Bull, and he touches on the exit of turn 14. He was having a look at the inside through the apex, and his front wing just touched the rear right tire of the Red Bull, and that put him off down the main straight, and he won't be able to get the move done this lap.
Winning very deep into turn 4, Appleplex.
And Sega was right on the back of Dastardly, but he got a little loose on the exit of turn 13. And he's a good ways away from Dastardly as they come onto the main straight, and he, even with DRS, won't be able to close the gap enough. And Dastardly stays ahead. Now going down to Appleplex and Prev. Appleplex and looking to get the move done.
Much better exit this time.
Right on the back of the Red Bull. Switches to the inside as they come into the braking zone for turn 1.
Ooh.
And Appleplex goes very deep, a big lockup. And Prev able to switch back and get the position back into turn 2. Prev is still 10th.
Appleplex was very aggressive there coming into turn 1 with trying to squeeze as much room as he can fairly give to Prev on the inside.
And Appleplex really racking up the penalties now, being in dirty air. Probably not helping.
No, he's trying to push quite hard, I think, and Dastardly comes into the pits.
Ooh, and Appleplex has to lock up to avoid going into the back of Prev there. Dastardly coming into the pits, putting on another set of medium tires, and that confirms a 2-stop strategy, I think. There was a small chance he may have gone onto the hards for a 1-stop, but by rule now he has to use 2 different tire compounds, so he'll have to make another pit stop.
So that's what he's done. 29 laps on the mediums, so if he does another 29 laps, that leaves him the 12 on the softs for the end.
Yeah. Looks to be a medium soft for Dastardly.
Right, I'm going to have to shoot off for 2 seconds. I will be back on mic in a moment.
Ted following Dastardly's strategy. Coming into the pits, Ted and Dastardly, the two that started the race on the mediums. And Ted doing a different strategy than Dastardly. He puts on the hard tires, so a one-stop strategy for Ted. He'll be able to take those hards the rest of the way without having to pit again. With everybody else in the field having to pit, Ted switching it up. We'll see how that comes into play later in the race. We go down to Appleplex, still not able to get the move done on Prev. When he gets really close there, and you can tell he's got so much grip through the second sector, but just can't find a gap big enough to get past the Red Bull through there. He's got DRS once again down the main straight. Prev still able to stay ahead.
Ted has also changed his tyres.
Yeah, Ted gone onto the hard tires as Appleplex looks to have a move on the inside of turn 5, but can't make it stick. Prev still staying ahead.
I think by the time Appleplex gets in front, his tyres will wear out, and Prev will just retake the position.
This is not what Appleplex would have wanted out of this stint so far. He's right behind him once again as they come around turn 14. If he can get a good exit, they'll have DRS. Prev just pulling away slightly down into turn 1.
It's like Prev has no downforce. And we have a yellow flag in sector 1, which looks like Ted. Ted's come off on the inside of turn 1.
Maybe those hard tires just not up to temperature, and he's got wing damage. And that will... oh, that just ruins his strategy, doesn't it? He was looking to take those hards to the end, but he's going to have to pit to repair that wing damage. And
first place Steve-O is not far behind, so if he pits, he's going to be a lap down. Because he can't keep it on track with that damage in them tyres.
And while Appleplex and Prev have been battling, Dastardly on those fresh medium tires has been closing the gap, so now he'll look to be within DRS range of Appleplex on this lap.
And we know the straight line speed of that Ferrari is phenomenal.
Appleplex not using his overtake. Prev able to keep the position.
Prev very deep.
Appleplex locking up into the chicane.
And
Prev onto the grass and Appleplex through. So finally Appleplex is able to get past the Red Bull. And Prev now under immediate pressure of Dastardly in the Ferrari.
Now, Prev compared to Appleplex, we know he's got some straight line speed. Oh, and we're missing Old Dads and Sega. Old Dads has just got past Sega by the looks on it. As we jump back down to Dastardly, Prev and Appleplex. Prev is actually outside of... Oh no, he's got DRS.
Dastardly looking to have a move anyway, switches to the inside.
What is with that straight line speed of Prev? It's phenomenal.
Oh, they're going to be... Oh, and
Boom.
Contact!
It's almost like Prev didn't know Dastardly was there.
Dastardly looked to probably have a move into turn 2, but then Contact put him off as they go wheel to wheel through turn 4 and more Contact.
Oh,
and
no.
an end plate.
End plate is gone from
that
the Ferrari.
Dastardly picking up damage there. He's able to get ahead, but at what cost?
Oh, that's not what you want 4 laps into your medium stint, is it? Oh, and he slows down a lot for that corner. He's suffering with that damage. See, now Dastardly's got 2 choices. He's either got to try and carry that damage through so they can go onto his softs. Well, I think he's probably going to do another lap to evaluate, but he's only got softs or hards to look at, I think. He couldn't do another set of mediums, so I don't think he will have another set of mediums. And he'd either have to go hards now or try and ride that damage out, or go soft. He could do 2 softs.
Yeah, none of those ideal.
No.
For Dastardly.
Yeah, with 34 laps left, even soft, you ain't got enough. You haven't got enough, no. You'd have to go soft. Which he has got.
Yeah. Dastardly struggling with that.
And he's got a time penalty there.
Damage. We'll see if he makes a decision this lap. Staying out once again, so it looks like he's just going to try to nurse that damaged Ferrari.
He is pulling away from Prev. That may be the tyre advantage. Just Mikey has made his way back up to the rear of the field.
Mikey closing in on Prev.
Big difference between their tyre life.
Prev has shown how difficult he can be to overtake, so Mikey will have to be careful here. And
Oh, and Prev goes very deep. Mikey takes the inside. But this will give Prev the DRS. And we know
Mikey
what the
with
straight
loads
line.
of overtake. So that will help Mikey pull away a little bit.
Crab coming in very hot then. I was praying he was going to stop.
Yeah, Mikey comfortably ahead into turn 2. So Mikey back in the points after coming together with Bannister a few laps ago. Able to recover, and every point counts, and Mikey is recovering well so far.
Shout out to Devil, who's watching our live stream. Hello, Devil. So, Steve-O, now 14-second lead on the racing point of Strident. Bannister still holding on to his 3rd place. Top 3 will be looking to pit some point soon.
On the top 3, as of now, Bannister the only one of those 3 without a penalty. Steve-O with 1, and Strident has 5 to this point.
Wow. 5 penalties, meaning he will be losing 1 place after the final standing, which is a wheel-to-wheel rule.
If the race were to end at this point, Bannister would be 2nd.
Yes, Bannister would have a net 2nd.
And, well,
as
I say that, he moves up into 2nd as Strident pits.
Steve-O 17 seconds ahead. Strident coming out just in front of his teammate, Old Ads. 14 laps difference in the tyres, but I can't see that being too much of an issue.
And the Renault of CHM closing the gap and within DRS range of a letdown of state. He's gaining quickly down the pit straight. Has a little look at the inside into turn 1, but too far back to really go for anything. And a letdown of state with a good exit out of turn 1, and will keep his position into turn 2. AHM on much younger medium tires, so he'll have the advantage in grip. Letdown of state likely to be pitting here in the next lap or 2.
So what did a letdown of state have on to begin with? He had some soft tyres on, didn't he? So he's gone soft medium. And we are 30 laps from the end, so a set of mediums will now see you to the end. So Strident will get to the end on those medium tyres. Is Ted's pitting again? Ted's coming off his softs onto some hards. As Just Mikey has now reached the back of Dastardly. Just Mikey on older tyres, but still racy as ever. As they both make it past Apoplex, who's in the pit, and Just Mikey comes to the inside. Dastardly hanging it out on the outside, seeing it through with great exit from turn 1. So Dastardly is for now keeping the position.
A great defensive driving from Dastardly there. He let Mikey have the inside, but was able to get a much better exit using that outside line. Getting the car going down that second DRS straight.
Mikey's teammate, CHM, I think has just made it past a letdown of state.
Yes, he has.
As Bannister has now pitted. Steve-O pitted also. So Bannister as carbon copy for pit lap. And it looks like a letdown estate is coming in.
So Mikey will have another go at the Ferrari of Dastardly. He's a little bit closer this time around. Switches to the inside. Can he make it stick this time through turn 1?
It's
and
almost
same again.
Same move, isn't it?
Dastardly around the outside is able to get a great exit and keep his position through turn 2.
I think they've both been involved in incidents around this part of the track, so they're probably erring a little bit more caution than normal.
His fastest lap, and it's Strident C in the Racing Point, a 119.4. And at this point in the race,
although Steve-O and Bannister have just put fresh tyres on, I let down Estate and Appleplex have just put fresh tyres on. I think that
Dastardly will be on fresh softs at the end.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that fastest lap.
I think Mikey would be as well. Mikey's not using his overtake this time, he's banking.
See if he can get a better exit out of turn 1.
Traction and the straight line speed of that Ferrari of Dastardly is he knows what he's doing here. Obviously, Dastardly having won the Hungarian Grand Prix last season.
Yeah, he's found a line as Steve-O sets a fastest lap of a 119.197.
Yeah. Having taken pole and Strident replies.
Oh.
But we know Steve-O's got pace here as he took pole and he's led most laps of this race.
And Bannister looking to have a move at turn 1. Has DRS on Old Dads, but... Oh, and he sends it down the inside, and there's contact, and Bannister goes round.
It looks like he's kept all of his front wing. For now, he might have a little bit of damage, but it's flicked back down to Mikey as he's having another go. He's got his overtake on and looking on the inside of Dastardly, and it's already in front of him before the braking zone.
Surely this is the lap where he makes the move stick.
Dastardly pretty low on overtake this round, so he must have been using it all to defend the previous attempts.
And Mikey able to make it stick through turn 2. So our championship leader, who was down in 12th just a few laps ago, recovering well up into 7th.
Sega on a fresh set of softs.
And he won't be able to take those to the end.
No, we'd have to go soft because 26 laps left. You could do 13 laps with 13 on some softs.
According to Pirelli, the soft tires can go a maximum of 20 laps. If you go any longer than that, you risk, well, you'll have no grip for a start, but you also run the risk of a puncture.
Yeah. Although we've seen most drivers not go longer than 12, 13 laps on them soft tyres. Most of them will come in at 10, 11 laps. So hats off to anybody that can take them softs 20 laps and still be racing. I feel like there's something happened to Steve-O because he's now only 8 seconds in front of Strident. why is he only 8 seconds in front of Strident? He was like 14 seconds in front of the field earlier. I wonder if Steve-O's had a little wobble or a little incident somewhere. As Bannister sets the fastest lap.
So he gets a cause with a new fastest lap.
On them super speedy soft tyres. Ooh, but Sega gets a 3-second time penalty. And Steve-O responds on a medium set of tyres, and he sets an 118.1, and we have Ted off again. Ted's on them hard tyres again, and he's just been off. Still has all of his front wing. His old dad's pits. It's a rather strange time to pit, depending what he goes on to, but he goes on to some mediums, which will take him to the end. Yellow flag, sector 3, which is Ted again. Trying to stay out of the way of everybody. He does a good job. So just Mikey now, very close to the back of his teammate, CHM. He's got his DRS open, but in no overtake on, so I think he's trying to slipstream and DRS to bank some extra battery and fuel as Ted retires into the pits. Which is, yeah. Retiring the pits is not really something that Wheel2Wheel like to promote, so retiring in the pits earns people a 1 point on their super license, which, as you see, Ted's cars come out of the pits there, but hopefully we'll go and find a safe spot to go and sit. So let's go back down now to just Mikey, as he's been using his teammate for a tow around the session, around the last lap. So great exit onto out of turn 14, then a start-finish straight, overtake, DRS open, well clear of his teammate before the braking zone into turn 1.
Yeah, it's good teamwork from the Renault drivers. They've been the most consistent driver pairing all season, and they executed that well, staying well clear of each other, and Mikey not losing too much time getting through on his teammate. And he's all the way up to 6th. A great recovery drive from Mikey.
Yeah, he's going to want to try and redeem as many points as he can from that early coming together with Bannister. Appleplex very clear. What can Appleplex do? Coming around this turn 14, he will have DRS very close to the back of a letdown estate. Doesn't have as much overtake, which he's not got on. I think he's banking, which is what I do sometimes. Sometimes I've used my overtake and everything else to catch a driver, and then sometimes I spend a lap or two just in their slipstream, dragging around the track, staying within DRS range, so that I can save all my overtakes. So not only can I get the overtake done, I've then got overtake to run away. When it takes a lot of the inside curb, and Appleplex is round on turn 5. He's going to have to wait for our race leader to go past. There we go. And very unfortunate for Appleplex there. Trying to take the quickest line through that corner, but too tight on the inside that he spun. He was definitely bringing the fight to a letdown estate there. So it's all petering out right now.
Sega to cause. Just trying to stick to the back of old dads on those soft tires.
Yeah, Sega is going to have to try and use them soft tyres as much as he can, because he's going to have to put another pit stop in. So he needs to get as much as he can out of these tyres to get him that advantage to try and nullify that extra pit stop he's going to have to do. Our race leader's dropped a little bit again. He was up to 10 seconds in front of Strident, but now Strident's closing the gap again. Although Strident is coming up to Appleplex, maybe that's what caused Steve-O to slow down. Maybe there were some blue flags which Steve-O had to deal with, which has cost him the time. As Old Dad's picks up another penalty. I'm not sure how many he's on now, but he's at risk of losing a position in the final standings.
I think he's up to 8 total for Old Dad's. So he will likely be dropping a few positions at the end.
Which will only be good news for people like Mikey. If he's unable to get across the line before Old Dad's, because Mikey may need to pit again. He will need to pit again. If he can't make it in front of Old Dad's across the line, no racer wants it like this way, but he will pass him in the final standings. Is that also the case for Sega? Did Sega have a lot of penalties?
No, it was Appleplex, Ted, and Strident are the ones at the moment.
Strident?
In danger. Yes.
Strident and Old Dad, so that could put...
Sega, I believe, only has 1 penalty at this point.
So Sega would be 3rd, and Mikey's pitted for softs.
He's just pit.
That's very early for softs. It's very early for softs. It's also brought him out behind our race leader. Them medium tyres might not have felt great, but I'm not sure about 18 laps on a set of soft tyres. As Strident picks up another penalty. Dastardly is very close to the back of Mikey's teammate, CHM. Dastardly still carrying that wing damage. Just Mikey still behind the AlphaTauri of Stevo.
And Mikey, I think, is perfectly fine with just sticking to the back of Stevo here, following him around. He's got DRS.
He's got DRS. He's going to be having blue flags moving in front of the cars in front of him. So a letdown estate will be getting blue flags if he's not getting them already. Where Mikey could probably slip through at the same time.
And Dastardly looking to have a move on CHM into turn 1.
Mikey was very close to the back of Stevo there, but Mikey's just trying to unlap himself, which he's fully entitled to do, and I think Mikey has got the tyres and the pace to be able to do so, as he's already pulling away from Stevo.
And Dastardly not able to make a move stick on CHM. Mikey right on the back of the letdown estate now that he's cleared Stevo. They'll be looking to get the move done.
And Dastardly is having a look on the inside of turn 12. And he gets the job done. He gets past CHM. Just sends it. Already clear as CHM runs deep into turn 13. His tyres are shot. He's coming into the pits. Just Mikey coming around the final corner. We'll have DRS, and he's got a full tank of overtake to use on a letdown estate. A letdown estate showing some strong straight line speed, just like his Ferrari teammate Dastardly. But Mikey is able to get the job done. Mikey back up to 7th now, as Dastardly picks up a time penalty. And not surprisingly, there's a purple sector 1 for Mikey there. Mikey using all the track he can and some more to try and get as much out of this lap as he can, close the gap to Dastardly.
Fastest lap there. New fastest lap of the race.
1:17.7 from Mikey.
And at this point, you'd have to think that one might stick, as we've maybe got Dastardly still to pit on some fresh softs. He might be the likeliest break that fastest lap.
Yeah, Sega's likely too far ahead for Mikey, but Sega will likely have to pit again because then soft tyres will not be up to much.
And if Mikey can get up to, if he can get ahead of Sega and Dastardly on track and cross the line 5th, he might be able to make his way on the podium with the 2 racing points having penalties.
Although if Sega pits, he's probably going to come out in front of Mikey, looking at the time difference. And we have a yellow flag, which is Strident.
It's Strident. Mikey right on the back of Dastardly now. He switches to the outside through turn 4. He just backs out at the last second.
The last thing either of these two want is more damage to the front wing. At this point of the race, it would not be worth it. Although Dastardly does still have to pit again, already with a missing end plate.
Oh, and maybe an opportunity as Dastardly goes a little wide, but
Mikey's just trying to show Dastardly that he is there, he is wanting that position.
he's hungry for that position.
Hungry.
Unintended.
Hey. And Dastardly's coming in.
So Mikey up to 6th.
Yeah, with the free bit of DRS as Dastardly gets a 5-second penalty speeding in the pit lane. So 32 seconds to collect from Sega. I think even from a man of Mikey's caliber, that might be a tall order, because towards the end of this race his tyres are not going to be feeling much. Sega pits. Where is Sega going to come out? He's got a massive gap. He's got a full tank of overtake.
We'll see how close Mikey is. He looks like Sega will still have several seconds.
Yeah. And 6-lap fresher tyres. I think this is Sega's podium to lose if Old Dads and Strident have to be demoted for time penalties.
And now Dastardly on the fresh soft tires with a new wing. He's got DRS on CHM.
Oh, Dastardly will be feeling like $1 million. Fresh tyres, new wing. He'll probably be would have been happier coming out in front of CHM, because that wing change would have been what's put him behind him. It changes your 2-second pit stop to an 8-second pit stop.
And now up front, we have Bannister right on the back of Strident.
Dastardly desperate to get past CHM, and he's taking him round the outside.
Oh. What a move from Dastardly.
Didn't want to wait to get the job outside of DRS range of CHM.
Bannister with DRS on Strident, but not able to make a move into turn 1.
Steve-O back to 15 seconds lead. Sega with the fastest lap. I have no idea who is going to be taking this extra championship point home today. It's still late in the race as well. Anything could happen, as we have 9 laps left to go.
Bannister closing the gap into turn 1. And I think Bannister will be well aware of the penalty situation. Though he doesn't need to try anything risky to get into second, as he will be taking second as long as he finishes where he's at now.
Yeah, in 20 seconds between him and Old Dads, there's no threat from behind, but he picks up a time penalty.
That is his first penalty of the day.
Yeah, Bannister, Strident, Steve-O, Old Dad's all with enough rubber to take them to the end. Sega, enough rubber. Mikey should have enough, but it will be a push.
Dastardly looking to make up another place here. On those fresh, soft tires, he's right on the back of Appleplex as they come around turn 13 and turn 14 and have DRS down the pit straight. And a really good exit from Dastardly. He's closing fast with DRS and overtake. Has a little look at the inside, he brakes late.
Does it under braking?
Can he make it stick?
Does a great job of stopping that car braking so late.
Yeah, great move down the inside of turn 1 and Dastardly up into 8th.
Bannister just sneaking back into DRS range with Strident. Is that Dastardly just behind them? It is. Dastardly picking up some free DRS from the battling cars in front, but
Bannister, I think, just leaving him space to unlap himself there.
yeah, Dastardly unlapping himself, but it was, I was wincing because he was riding the curb on the inside. Just a bit more throttle and that would have sent his car spinning. Now Dastardly will be coming up to the car of Strident. Strident on 23 lap old mediums. So Dastardly should be able to unlap himself on him also. Appleplex with another penalty. Dastardly not able to unlap himself at this point. Bannister's dropped off and oh, but I think Strident has let him through.
Yeah, now Dastardly has just a few laps to chase down his teammate.
Yep, 6 laps, 7 seconds. I think Dastardly might be able to do it, but I also think Letdown Estate's probably got a penalty or 2 more than Dastardly would have.
They both have 2, but Dastardly got a 5-second speeding in the pit lane.
Ah, he did. Damn.
That I do not believe he has served yet.
See,
which might come back to cost him.
I wonder how far down the Strident old dad's penalty drops will go, because that could affect these drivers that we're looking at here.
Old dad's at the moment has 9.
Wow, so he is out of
dropped several places.
Bannister caught right back up to Strident now. Comment on my stream from Charlie Fluff. Mikey is not going to be happy. Not going to be a happy man with his podium run coming to an end. I can't see Mikey being a happy man being involved in that earlier incident, but that's something that needs to be looked at when he's not fighting for the points in the dying laps of the race. But thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, keep it coming. I mean, Mikey 51 points ahead of the man I'm watching now, Bannister. So he's still basically got a 2-race lead in effect. But Steve-O is going to be closing that gap even more. But Steve-O won't be taking that extra point home for the fastest lap. Currently, fastest lap is going home with Sega, which I think will be a well-earned prize, as Sega looks at the moment to be taking one of them steps on the podium. Appleplex gets another penalty.
Yeah, Appleplex will be dropping back out of the points at this point. Got, I believe, 11 penalties for Appleplex.
Wow. I think, is it 12, the limit?
I'm not sure.
And then you're disqualified?
Find out. I don't wish any of our drivers to get disqualified, but it is interesting. Being a driver collect that many.
That's why we have this position drop rule, because I think by the time you've earned 6 or 7 penalties, you need to have a look at your driving style, your track limits. As
Bannister looking to have a move into turn 1. Strident trying the switch back, but Bannister able to get a good exit, and he gets the move done. P2 for Bannister.
On the track as well, which is what any racer will want. As we said, Bannister likely to have net P2 anyway if Strident was in front of him due to his penalties, but that's not how a racer wants to earn a place. Certainly not a podium.
So now don't think Mikey. I think Mikey might jump Strident with the place drop rule. Strident with 7 penalties, I believe, at the moment.
Mikey's tyres probably not going to be feeling too great. Let's hope that he can just take them to the end and not have too many issues. Strident, DRS, but not able to reclaim that position off Bannister. Ooh, Sega coming up to the back of Prev. Prev trying to move out of the way, but there's a bit of weaving from Sega to say, no worries, Prev. So let's see if we can have a look at Mikey's tyres.
And I'll tell you what, dastardly has closed the gap just over a second with just over a lap to go. So as the two Ferraris start their final lap, just 1.2 seconds in it. Dastardly on the soft tires, chasing down his teammate.
Oh, and Dastardly picks up
getting another penalty. I think even if he does pass his teammate here, he'll finish behind him in the final classification.
It's just where that break will come from. The position drops above, because there's every chance that his teammate could be promoted, but he wouldn't be. But let's go to Steve-O as he completes the final
coming out of turn 14 for the final time and crosses the line. A dominant performance from Steve-O. He was on pole. He led just about every lap of this race, and he takes the race win.
Yeah, class of his own. Dastardly does finish behind a letdown estate. Bannister and Strident come through at second and third. Old Dad's crosses the line. Sega to cars coming up.
And I believe Sega will be on the podium when the final classifications happen.
He may not, yes, final classification. He might not be on the podium for the final animation. So obviously the game doesn't know our rules, but he does jump Old Dad's, which means Old Dad's will drop positions from 5th. And as our championship leader completes the final corner, that's everybody through from the Hungarian Grand Prix.
And a good recovery there from Mikey, as we said, was back in 12th, about halfway through the race.
A well-deserved driver of the day for Sega there. Sorry.
Yeah, Sega with a good drive as well. We'll just see if we can get some of these drivers in for a podium interview.
If you want to do that, I'll run down the final standings as best I can. I will try and incorporate the penalties as it stands. If not, I'll read them down as they are, and we'll amend the final standings after. So as we say, outstanding race from Steve-O. He took pole. He didn't take the fastest lap, but he did well to stay in front of everybody, led majority of the laps, and he took the race win. Second, we have Bannister. In third, we will have Sega, because Strident has got 7 penalties. So we'll just go through the order as they are. Third is Strident, cross the line. Fourth is Sega. Fifth is Old Dads. Sixth is Mikey. Seventh is Letdown Estate. Eighth is Dastardly. Plex. And 12th was Ted, but he retired in the pits. So as we see there, we've got quite a few penalties which we need to look at in the FIA post-race to adjust the final standings.
We are joined now by Bannister. Another strong performance for you, Bannister. What did you make of that one?
Well, good, yeah. I think we can all agree that Steve-O needs moving up to AL1.
Yeah.
He came down from AL1.
He needs to go back.
Yes. He's definitely...
Yeah, I think several people will agree with that. For sure, he's another level today. Not really anybody near him all race, but your main championship rival was Mikey, and you had a good little battle with him, and then...
Yeah, I don't know if he clipped me or... I didn't feel anything, but I don't know if he lost it by himself or he hit me, I'm not sure, but...
There was definitely some fair, hard battling between the two of you, and turn 4 sometimes is a bit tricky going there by yourself, and you two managed to do it a couple times together.
Yeah, it's always hard battling Mikey, but it's always fun, it's always clean. But I wasn't sure if I'd just clipped his wing and it sent him round, or his wheel. So we're going to have a look at it, so we'll find out.
Yeah, a racing incident, even if there was contact, nothing.
You can appeal if you like.
You could have done.
Devil says, well done, Bannister.
Yeah, well done, Bannister. Another good result for you, and another good result.
Yeah, strong
Chasing
podium.
down Mikey.
It'll do well for your construction championship points.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Bannister. And now Steve-O, our race winner, is here to join us. Yes, Steve-O?
Yeah.
So, you've had some battles the last couple of weeks, but this week, a really dominant performance. Are you
It was easy, yeah.
more comfortable with this track than the last week, maybe?
Yeah. I was to push me really hard last week, and it got me worried for this week. But I was glad that I was able to break away from him in the first stint of the race, and then just keep him the same distance away for the rest of the race. That's great.
Seemed pretty comfortable in the end for you, so here's the tough question. After a performance like that, are you considering a move back to AL1?
Yes.
I'm thinking about it for next season, yeah.
Next season?
See how I do. I still need to improve my race pace more for AL1. Qualifying pace, it looks to be there, but yeah, I keep improving and then move back up to AL1.
Definitely been improving, and it's good to see. So hopefully, back in AL1 at some point. But for now, that's 4 in a row for you.
Yeah, your racecraft has come on quite a lot, and it looks like you're involved in less incidents. You're sticking on the track a lot more, certainly less penalties, and you seem to be more in control of your race.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you think you can make it 5 next week at Spa?
Maybe. Belgium is a bit tricky. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, penalties can be easy, especially with the corner with no name. It's easy to get a penalty there.
Yeah.
And the Bannister's very good with his without getting a penalty and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week. Congratulations on the race win, and thank you for joining us. That was Steve-O, our race winner.
Yeah, well done, Steve-O.
Thank you very much.
So that's all from us today. Steve-O takes the race win at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and next week we go to Spa in Belgium. Should be a good one. We'll see you then.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Stay safe.